Um, my wife was in Keswick and for a heroin addiction, and while she was there, I also had been struggling with alcohol abuse.
So I grew up in a home where one of my parents abused pain medication, and because of how she abused pain medication, it caused me to have really bad anxiety.
So, as a kid, when I was 4, my parents got divorced, and that really triggered my anxiety and depression.
So, Tom and I have 4 children. One of our children at the age of 4 was diagnosed with leukemia.
While she was there, I was able to get a mentorship with a guy that went through the colony, and he actually worked for Keswick, and he helped me to overcome my addiction to alcohol. When it came time for my wife to graduate from Keswick, we found a new apartment. Everything seemed to be going very well, and then a few months after, in December 27th, my wife passed away.
She treated me in a way that I feel a parent shouldn't treat their child, and that was something that I had a really hard time coping with growing up. I felt like, wow, like my parent who's supposed to love me doesn't love me in the right way. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, is it something that I'm doing? And that's something I struggled with for a really long time.
After that, it was really hard for me to gain a relationship with new people. At school, it was really hard for me to make friends because I was kind of making it hard for people to come up to me and talk to me. I got to a point over the next few years where I was at my lowest point in my life, and I just didn't feel like I belonged anywhere.
Which was a very difficult time for us. We were both Christians at the time, so this was, we definitely used our faith in the situation. Did a lot of praying, had a lot of church family that stood by us, and went through the whole process with us as well.
And I was faced with the first choice of my life to decide whether I was going to go back to drinking or whether I was going to pursue God and to pursue the new faith that I had found.
And because of this, I developed a really bad anxiety disorder. And so time went on, and I wound up moving in with my father when I was 16. And I thought that would solve all my problems and I wouldn't be anxious anymore, but the problems just got worse. I had to withdraw from high school and finish school at my house, with my teachers coming to help me, and I couldn't walk at graduation, I couldn't go to prom, and I was a mess. And I got to a point where I felt hopeless, I felt worthless, and I felt like I wasn't living for anything.
I didn't feel like I had anyone to trust, or I just felt alone. And one night, Christina texted me and invited me to youth group. I wasn't really sure, I was very reluctant to go, but I went.
There was another time.
With his hair.
Yes.
When he prayed that his hair wouldn't fall out, and we went to the doctor, and she said, how did his hair grew back so fast? And we said, no, his hair never fell out.
It hadn't fallen out
And
yet.
And
It did eventually, but.
She said, I don't know how his hair didn't fall out.
And with God's strength, I was blessed miraculously. My car had just died. My grandparents bought me a new car. My grandparents paid my rent that month. And the guys that I worked with all compiled money together and gave to me. And as I kept pursuing God, God kept pursuing me. With the support of people in Keswick and with the support of my life group at Wellspring Church, I have felt the grace of God and love of God in my life in a way that I've never felt before.
And so I knew that I needed more in my life. I knew that there was something that was really missing from my everyday life and from my peace. And so I wound up going to church with my stepmom, and I started to feel as though that was what was missing. I felt like I heard about God, I was raised Catholic, so I knew who God was, but I never knew that a relationship with Jesus was possible. So when I started going to church with my stepmom, I got more interested and I started to read more and I started to learn more, but I felt like something was still missing. I felt like it wasn't clicking for me. So then I wound up going to a worship night up north, and that is when Jesus saved my life. I remember I was worshiping for the first time, like really worshiping. I had my hands raised. It was an experience that I couldn't believe was happening. Like, I felt the Holy Spirit for the first time, and it was amazing. It was like the best feeling in the world. And ever since then, the night that I was saved, I've just had this passion and this fire for God.
I was saved by Jesus, and ever since then, my life has changed a lot. I've been so much more happy. I know that I'm never alone. I've made so many new friends here, and every week I just feel so welcome.
I can remember him saying something to the effect, like, I can't wait to be with Jesus. And I was like, oh, that's a great thought, but right now, I'd rather you stay here with us. But I just thought it was kind of really cool, because he had to have been 7, 8 years old, and he was saying this, and it was very amazing to think that a child had that kind of thought process about Jesus. So it was.
Yeah, his favorite song was "Take the World But Give Me
Take the World But Give Me
And he'd be up in
Jesus.
his room singing it at night.
Yeah, we took a video, we had a tape of it, we took it to the hospital with us, and he would play it, we would play it all the time.
And I started reading my Bible, and I started going to Wellspring, and things really changed for me, and Jesus totally changed my life after that. He brought me out of this dark, hopeless pit that I was in and gave me a new life and truly saved me from the old self that I was. He broke the chains of anxiety in me, and now I get to live not perfectly, and I still have those days where I'm anxious, and I still have those days where I'm questioning everything, but I know that my hope is not found in the things that I do, but my hope is found in Jesus.
And now he's 21 years old, healthy. I actually just was at his pediatrician's the other day, and he said, so how's your son doing? And I said, he's doing really well. He's 21 now. And he's like, well, how many years has it been? And I said, well, he's actually in remission. He's been off treatment for like about 10 years. And he said, well, he should be good. So he's tall, he's handsome, and we're really proud of him.
Very smart.
Yeah.
I made Trailblazer.
I'm a trailblazer.
I'm a trailblazer.
We are Trailblazers.